Okay, these are the topics that every Forex trader, whether you are in this trader, whether you are a stock trader, you must know all of these topics. One of them is introduction to Forex trading and how it works. And I believe, Loazi, I gave you a book since you are new to Forex that does introduce you to Forex trading and how it works. So the basics of candlesticks, I believe you're gonna also get the basic of the candlesticks from that book: support and resistance, supply and demand, chart patterns, risk management, planning trades and executing strategies, trends and trend lines, trading fundamentals, news release, and trading psychology. Out of today's topic, I think I did create a video about support and resistance. I did create a video about the candlestick. I did create a video about news release, but my news release is a bit different from other traders, because other traders like to trade like put a trade like 5 minutes before the news release. But I don't second that, because we never know for sure which direction the news is gonna go to. So for me, what I do, I wait for the news to get released, and then after the news gets released, that's where I execute my trade, because the news are short-lived, meaning the news will go on like just for, let's say, maybe for 15 minutes or 1 hour. And then after 1 hour, the true direction of the market will still continue. So the news, sometimes they reverse the direction of the market into a new direction. Sometimes they continue the direction into a new direction of the market. So let's dive straight to today's topic without further wasting of time. So right now, let us talk about supply and demand. And I think let us first look at this GBP USD chart. I will clear my chart here. Let me keep it black and white and remove one of the indicators I was testing. Are you still with me, my friends?
Yes, we are following.
Okay, so I don't know, should I explain briefly what is supply and demand? Okay, let me explain briefly in my own understanding what is supply and demand. Supply is an area in the price where demand, which means, supply is where supply exceeds demands, which is, it's an area in the market where there are a lot of sellers more than the buyers. How do you see that there's a lot of sellers more than the buyers? It means, let me try and do some annotation here. How do you see that there's more sellers than the buyers? This is how you see it. Where's my annotation? Okay, let's say the market, can you see this arrow, or should I increase it?
Increase, but we see it.
Okay, let me try and increase the arrow. It's clear on my drawings. All right. Okay, so let's say a demand is an area in a market where buyers are more than the sellers, or where demand is greater than supply. So as we know on our daily activities, we know that when the demand is high, it means that for some reason in the shop there is a lot of I believe when the demand is high, it means that there are more people who are willing to buy. Am I right, or do you agree with me?
Yes, you are.
When supply is high, it means people are more willing to sell at higher prices. But I don't want to go too deep into real world. Can you see now? I'm sure you can see now.
Yes.
Okay. So
we see.
Let's say at a demand, let's say I'll draw this horizontal line. So if the market, let's say the market was going down like this, if you can see my higher, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. So when the market get to this point, I'll change the color to red. When the market get to this point, if the market shoot up and change direction aggressively against this previous move and even break this previous high, it means there down there is a demand is greater than supply. That's the point in the market where demand is greater than supply. Are you still with me? So let me do it.
Yes.
Let me do it vice versa. So when the market, the candles in the market are going down like this, like this, like this, and then like this, like this, like this. So this point in the market, can you see? Can we all agree that the bulls were in control here out of this whole move? But once the market get here, the bears take control and push the price and even break this previous low. That means at this point in the market, supply is greater than demand. You see? So basically what we are trying to do in the market, we're trying to locate an area where in the market there was an explosive move that was so obvious in the market that even a kid can see that this thing is dropping hard, this thing is rising hard. So that's we try to locate those areas where supply is greater than demand and demand is greater than supply. So we can, as we all know, that we can use supply and support and resistance and supply and demand interchangeably. I know it's not the same thing, but we know that if we talk about, for instance, let's say we talk about a demand. A demand is also another name that can be used as a support. It's some sort of support, or I can say support is some sort of demand. Yeah. So let's say supply is some sort of resistance. So these things are almost related, but it's not the same thing. Let us dive into a real life example and see exactly how do we locate our supply and demand. So the first thing I believe, I suggest we start from the monthly chart. On this monthly chart of GBP USD, if we can look closely here, you will notice that the trend in the monthly was down, making, let me try to change this color to maybe green or something. Okay, the trend is clearly down here on this chart of GBP USD. Can you see? Making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. So let us try and locate supply and demand levels of this monthly time frame. Let me clear this and clear all drawings. Okay, so when we're finding a supply and demand, we're gonna use this tool called a rectangle tool. It can be found on a MetaTrader for laptop and MetaTrader for a phone. So the first thing that we do is, if you still remember, Loazi, I said, okay, let us not take this in the middle. Let us take it just from the beginning. So we draw, you can draw your what's it, your current price. The market this month, this is the current month of this month for GBP USD. I just drew this blue line. Can you all see it? This is our current price in the GBP USD monthly. So to find supply and demand, if you still remember, I said from the current price, where's my drawing? From the current price, we look down. If you find to find demand, you look down to the left. Can you see? I believe the last time I didn't have these drawings. When I said look down to the left, nobody can understand why exactly I'm pointing. At least now you have a clue. To find the supply, you look up to the left. I hope you are still with me. Let me repeat for the last time. To find a demand, you look down. This arrow is terrible. I'm gonna try this one. Look down and look to the left. To find a demand, to find a supply, look up to the left, which is almost the same thing, but vice versa. Okay, let's find our area of supply in this monthly. For me, in my eyes, this is an area that I believe is a monthly supply in control. Why is this a monthly supply in control? It's because price here, this one, this one, and this one. Price here, at this point of time here, is where price was driven by the sellers and broke this previous low to the downside. And that is an area where there was a greater number of sellers than the buyers. So this is our supply zone in the monthly in control. So I draw it like that. Oh, okay. One thing I almost forget to mention, when you are drawing a supply, make sure you include a basing candle. A basing candle can be a doji, can be a shooting star, can be a pin bar. The most, sorry,